Hi, it's Michelle Anderson of Clarinet Mentors. Today I want to give you a little thing to try at home that might make your tone a lot better. Certainly might make your high notes a lot more focused, and it's really easy to do. This has to do with the angle that the clarinet makes as it comes into our mouth with our head. And for each person, there is an ideal spot where your tone is going to sound best, and you should know where that is for you. There's a bad habit that I see a lot of people doing without realizing that they're doing it, and that's that as they were learning to play, it was probably curiosity that caused it, they looked down at their clarinet. If I turn from the side, you can see my head is looking down. Now that's not a good idea for two reasons. One is that even if you were to talk and say hello and then put your head down and say hello, you can feel that it kind of restricts your throat and your air passageway. So our air is not going to be as good if we do that. So we always want to make sure when we're playing our chin is up. The angle that I'm concerned with right now is the angle our clarinet makes with our head. And I'm turning sideways because you can see it better that way. So we have a range. We could play with it way out here or way in here. Now if I pull it in all of the way, at some point I'm going to have the reed rubbing up against my chin and bottom lip, and that will muffle it. So that's not going to work. And at some point, as I pull it out away from my body, it's going to be too far away, and that's not going to sound good. So you want to figure out where within that realm of stuff is the spot where you sound best. And the note that I recommend you do this on, if it's a comfortable note for you, is your high C, your thumb and register key. It's a really reactable note, and it's very easy to hear the difference that can be made when you do that. So I'll demonstrate how we might do that. I'm going to start with the clarinet obviously too close to my body, and I'm slowly going to extend it outward until it's obviously too far. And what I'll listen for is where in that range do I feel I have the best tone. So here we go. So obviously straight out I lose my sound altogether and I get that awful undertone. But in between I really hear the sound shift. And if you do this yourself, you'll also find the same thing. Now the important thing is that your head stays up while you do this exercise. If I just move my head down, so I'm looking down, if I were to keep my clarinet and head the same but lift it up, it's as if I'm playing with my instrument out here. So those of you who might look down don't realize, if we kept this angle steady, it's as though your clarinet is straight at the camera, straight out, and we don't want that to be the case. This would also work on an open G. So I'll show you, I'll hold the clarinet at my ideal angle, and then I'm going to move my head down on an open G, and you'll hear what that does to the tone. Now I moved it extremely far down. Odds are you're not tucked with your chin right into your neck the way I was, but you may be looking down quite a bit. And if you're not sure, you should videotape yourself. Turn sideways, play your clarinet, take a look at it, and see what you look like. But you could hear when I lowered my head, my tone got really fuzzy and airy. The air just doesn't work as well as it ought to. So this is really easy for you to test out. Like I said, especially the high C. Now everyone's mouth is shaped differently. Everyone's teeth are shaped differently. But here's a general guideline I can give you that I've seen work with most people. If you imagine that your knees were stuck up against a wall, you would want your clarinet to still be able to fit between your knees. It's when people start riding out past their knees that usually they've gone past their ideal spot. Now, I should add here that the kind of sound I'm referring to is probably based on the classical model of clarinet sound. So an orchestral model, most concert bands and school band programs are also modeling their tone after a classical clarinet orchestral sound. So if you play in a concert band, an orchestra, this is for you. When we pull our clarinet out further, we get a little bit brighter, louder sound, and if you were playing more jazz music, especially if you were in a full jazz band and you wanted the clarinet to compete with the saxophones and the brass section, you may prefer that. Or even some klezmer music, the angle would be out further. So you'll notice by playing around that it does change the sound, and then you can choose the sound that works well for the music that you're playing. So I recommend try this out. Try it on a high C if you can. Try it on an open G. Watch the angle of your head. It's one of the easiest ways I know of to improve sound. In fact, I'll play a scale for you. Simple C scale with my clarinet out too far, maybe my head down a bit, and then I'll straighten it up and you'll hear the difference. So here's the way a lot of people play, not realizing they don't have the ideal angle. Sounds okay, a little wild on top. Lift my head up, pull my clarinet in closer. Now, of course, the sound gets filtered through my microphone, through your computer, but sitting here live, I notice a big difference. And if you were to try this at home, you probably would too. So that's today's quick and easy pointer on how to improve tone. And if you've enjoyed today's video lesson and you're not already a member of the Clarinet Mentors community, you could have videos like this emailed to you every 2 weeks in the Clarinet Mentors newsletter. And all you have to do is go to www.learnclarinetnow to sign up. It's free, and if it's not a good fit for you, it's really easy to unsubscribe down the road. Look forward to seeing you on our next clarinet lesson.